Well, there's an old question that has resurfaced again. Do cruise lines keep a list of the people who remove the assigned gratuities? Also, Bar Harbor's trying to keep cruisers out of their town. Well, they're not going to be able to do it for 2023. And Royal Caribbean has announced the new bars for the Icon of the Seas, and two of them are really interesting to me. Cruise news and my views. Let's talk about it. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to La Lido Loca. I am your host, Tony, here to talk you through everything going on in cruising. And well, let's start the show off by examining a question that surfaced. The first time I saw it surface was back in 2019. I did a video asking this very same question. Do the cruise lines, specifically, does Carnival Cruise Line keep a list of the people who removed their gratuities? And I think at the time, I went back and I referenced that video. I think at the time, the answer was yes. I think there was a removed gratuities list, and that the room stewards would know during the cruise who removed their gratuities. And here's why I think it may no longer be true. There was this post over to brand ambassador John Heald's Facebook page that said, "Dear John, can I bring urgently to your attention the subject of gratuities? It comes from your nemesis website, which I am a proud member of. Not all of us on Cruise Critic hate you. Most, yes. Not all, lol." One of the board's most admired members says that he broke the news about the controversial no gratuities list, which he insists the cabin steward and our waiter receives on the last evening of the cruise. It tells them who has taken off their gratuities. Is this true? Simple answer, John, yes or no. Is the person who said it right? Because this is one of the reasons he no longer cruises with Carnival. Thank you, John. That's pretty wild. I guess there's some pretty well-known person over there on Cruise Critic that no longer cruises with Carnival because he's offended that after he removed the gratuities that potentially he was on a list letting the people whose gratuities he removed know that he had removed their gratuities. I don't know what's right or wrong in that situation. Do you think the person who's getting their gratuities removed should know who removed the gratuities, or should it not be that way? Here's the answer that John Heald gave. He said, "I do seem to remember the subject came up many years ago, and I can tell you that the answer now is no." Like I said, I did this story in 2019, November of 2019, and I think at the time the answer might have been yes. The crew are not ever shown a list of the specific cabins that may have removed gratuities. Now they will know by how much they receive compared to the number of tables they wait on or the number of cabins they clean. But which cabin removed them? No, they are not shown a list. We are so proud of our crew. We are so grateful that very few of our guests remove all their gratuities and give nothing at all, etc., etc., etc. It's a fascinating topic. I've talked to many people on both sides of this issue, people that are very adamant about their desire and their right and their ability to remove the gratuities and to tip how they feel they should. And then, of course, we have the other side. And I fall on the other side. I don't think you should remove the gratuities because I believe that you are not tipping everybody that's supposed to be tipped in that process. But the part of the conversation that's interesting to me today is this idea. If you're somebody who removes their gratuities, should it be known to the people that you've removed the gratuities from, or is that a bridge too far? Should you be able to remove your gratuities in anonymity and, have those people still love on you like you didn't remove the gratuities until you give them a gratuity or until you stiff them? Interesting conversation. Where do you fall on it? Leave a comment below. Cruise news story number 2 takes us to the lovely port city of Bar Harbor, Maine. Bar Harbor, Maine. If you've been tracking along with what's going on there, there's a group of citizenry that brought up a petition to get cruise ship passenger amounts limited. It went to the people there in Bar Harbor, and they voted to limit the amount of cruise passengers allowed in their city. And the town managers there, acting on that vote, decided to almost immediately enact those prohibitions against cruise passengers, the limits set for cruise passengers. In a counter initiative to the vote of the people and the action of the town managers, there was a concerned group of business owners that filed an injunction against the city, claiming that they would be financially damaged if the city would enact this ban almost immediately. And the two sides have been negotiating back and forth as they've been approaching a date in which the court required that they have their motions filed, all that legal stuff. And there's been a resolution, there's been a compromise. The city has decided not to enact those restrictions in 2023, but continue to develop a plan to enact those restrictions in the future. The city managers have come out and said, we're concerned that if a lawsuit comes against the city, that there could be a large amount of damages based on the lost profitability of these businesses that are suing us. And so instead of doing that, let's let them do business in 2023 and then continue to figure out how to enact the will of the people going forward. So with all that in mind, if you're going to Bar Harbor in 2023, you shall go there unimpeded. But this may be the last year for that no impediment. And I'm assuming the people that are running those businesses are excited that their 2023 season could still be profitable, but I'm sure they're concerned as to what the future holds. It's the classic will of the people versus the commerce in the city conversation. They've had it in Key West, they've had it in Venice, they've had it in Bar Harbor, Maine, and this is the next chapter in that story, the city compromising with business owners for 2023. There you go. Now, let's face it. You have to have been stranded on a deserted island or lost at sea if you have not heard any of the buzz about Royal Caribbean's new cruise ship design for the icon of the seas, divergent from the Oasis class of cruise ships. There is a new Oasis class cruise ship coming out called Utopia of the Seas, but Icon of the Seas will be a brand new design and a brand new class of cruise ships. And they have announced 15 new bars that are coming onto the Icon. They're all very interesting, but I want to tell you about two that have particularly caught my interest. First and foremost, the Aqua Theater on the Icon class of cruise ships will be at a different spot than on the Oasis class of cruise ship. That currently is located in the aft of the cruise ship on the Oasis class cruise ships. It's an outdoor venue, and it causes trouble sometimes that they can't have that show because of its location and the motion of the ship, outside weather, all that kind of thing. So in the new design on the Icon, they're building an aquasphere. They're building a spherical stadium enclosure at the forward of the cruise ship where the Aqua Theater will be, and they're putting in a branded coffee bar. Let me just pop in from the edit. I was watching myself so animatedly say aquasphere, and it tweaked my brain like, is that what the thing's actually called? It's not called the aquasphere, which I think would be a cool name for it. It's called the Aquanet. No, that would be a cool name for it. It's not called the Aquanet either, the Aquadome. That's the correct thing that it's called on the Icon of the Seas, the Aquadome. I think Aquasphere is a banging name. But all right, back to the news. This new bar will be called the Rye and Bean, and during the day, during the morning, it will be serving your favorite coffee fare. I'm assuming it will be serving your favorite coffee fare into the evening, but somewhere along the way, in a nod to the way that Royal Caribbean does well with making multi-use venues, this bar will transform into a nightlife type bar with views of the Aqua Theater right there in the Aquasphere, the Aquadome. I'm excited to see that. It's neat when the cruise lines try to do their own coffee instead of relying on a brand. And the other bar that I'm excited about is they're going to have a dueling piano bar. One of my favorite spots on the Holland America ship, the Noordam, was the Billboard Lounge where they had dueling pianos. Of course, Norwegian Cruise Line has Howl at the Moon, which is dueling pianos. Carnival has a wonderful piano bar, not dueling pianos, but a very lively piano bar in 88 Keys, I believe it's called. But Royal Caribbean, they've had their piano bar in the Spinnaker Lounge, and a lot of times that's just, it's kind of a more laid back piano bar vibe, and sometimes it seems a little boring, to be honest. I've seen some great pianists there, and I've heard some great singing, no shade on that, but it's not the most lively vibe, especially when you're going into 9 o'clock at night and you're hoping for something a little, upbeat. It can be a little subdued, if I'll say that. But now they're going to have a dueling piano bar, which I would assume will have that ship rocking well into the later hours for the late night folk. It's Royal Caribbean's first dueling pianos at sea, and I can't wait to see how they do it. Have you peeped out any of the information on the new bars on the Icon of the Sea beyond the two I mentioned? Is there anything you're super excited about? Are you booked on the Icon of the Seas? Are you excited about Icon of the Seas? I'm not booked on it, but I'm getting excited about it. Leave a comment below. Can I pose a question to you? Have you enjoyed the show today? Do you like staying up to date with everything going on in cruising? Well, you can get it in your face every day. Consider subscribing with the notification bell on. Show some love for the show by hitting the like button. This is Tony for La Lido Loca. If you want to see that original conversation about the gratuities list, check this video out next. And until the next time, we'll see you on the Lido. Bye.